Hey, how's it going everybody? Jolt the Catalyst here. Today we're going to be going over how to do the headstand. First, you need to understand where the balance point is located. Surprisingly, the best spot isn't at the center. It's best to balance on a spot slightly further back, as you can see here. This is because your weight is best aligned with the spine in this general area. The spine attaches behind the midline of the skull. This is also important because you may experience unnecessary strain on the back and neck if you headstand on a spot that is too far forward. This is because you would need to curve the vertebrae more to compensate for the improper contact point. Training to balance further back on the skull helps your spine maintain a more natural alignment. To develop your headstand ability, you'll need to stand up on your head for prolonged periods of time. This will help kill the nerves at the top of your head, which will help you build a callus. Bone is made up of calcium, which can literally change form under consistent pressure. The more time you spend on your head, the faster your head will soften up to restructure itself into a flattened surface. This process can be painful, but it's the key to getting into more advanced head techniques like head spins. When it comes to protecting the head, I recommend using a beanie or two, or practicing on carpet.
Now let's learn how to perform the headstand.
A headstand is essentially a tripod that includes your head and two hands. Start by getting down on your knees and putting your head on the ground. While in this position, you'll notice that your elbows make 90-degree angles and your fingers point away from the face. Some beginners make the mistake of pointing the fingers towards the body, since that's how the hands are during handstands, but these moves are definitely two different techniques. It's much easier to maintain control with the fingers pointed away from the body because it allows you to apply pressure more accurately. Next, slightly kick off the ground and push with the arms so that your hips are raised. I'm doing this with straight legs since flexibility helps with control. But if you're not very flexible, you can also scrunch the legs up towards the body as you go up.
I recommend starting with your legs in a tuck position because it doesn't require much flexibility and it's also at a low center of gravity.
Once you're up there, adjust to make sure you're on the right spot by tilting the head in different angles. After you get comfortable with this, try placing the hands closer to the head. The goal here is to eventually be able to make a diamond shape with your hands. If you can do this without faltering, try to extend your arms out so that they're adjacent with your ears. The final step is to do all of these steps while only on your fingertips. Also be sure to practice balancing using different leg positions. The four variations that are used most commonly are the straddle, the squat, the Nazi, and the drill. With consistent training, you'll eventually be able to balance without your hands. The key to maintaining a headstand without the hands is to keep your arms and legs in similar positions so that one half of your body mirrors the other. It's also important to shift your weight by extending the legs a little and leaning slightly with the hips when you feel yourself tipping over to one side. But of course, you'll want to keep that to a minimum. This might put some strain on your neck as well, so please be sure to stretch out before training. Although this level of headstand ability isn't necessary to progress to head spins, it'll greatly improve control.
Most people know that friction may cause hair loss, but many people don't realize the fact that constant pressure may also have the same result. So be sure to take breaks as often as you need.
If you feel your head getting really tender, wait a while before continuing. Never pick at your hair or scratch the head when your scalp feels tender, since doing so will also encourage hair loss.
There are also a few ways to get out of the headstand.
The most common way to do this would be to simply put your feet out in front of you to touch the ground and guide your hips down. The second method is to roll out of it by slightly tucking the head, pushing forward against the floor with the hands, and folding your legs so that your knees come towards the abdomen as you fall. Curve your spine as well so you can safely roll down to a seated position.
So that's our tutorial for today. If you found it helpful, please be sure to subscribe. We're also taking practice videos from your sessions, so please be sure to send it to our email. We're going to create a video compilation and we're going to give you some tips and advice, so be sure to look forward to that in the near future. And as always, thanks for watching and tune in next time on JOLT TV. There are also a few ways to get out of the headstand. Okay. There are also a few different ways to get out of the headstand. Out of the headstand. There are also a few different ways to get out of the headstand.